What's going on, everybody? We are back here live here in the OT Radio Show. We got a very good show for y'all today. Today, we bringing on actress, director, singer, host, and guess what, y'all? Ha! Psychologist. So we got on here Miss Doctor. And when I say doctor, y'all, we talking doctor. Dr. Meleeka Clary is going to be joining us here on the show in about, let's see, about a minute or so. So right before we get her on, we're going to be talking about everything. And we're going to be talking about her movie, Three Corners of Deception. We're going to talk about that a little bit too. So we'll be right back here live here on the OT Radio Show. Let's go.
I'm on that radio, I speak it though. What's on your mind is deep though. We'll speak it though. We on the air, just take it there, I'ma take it there. Hold up. Yeah, I'm talking about it, but I'm real about it. I speak on it, but don't catch films about it. We can chop it up like it's nothing, baby.
What's going on, everybody? Like I said, we are live here on the radio show, and we have her on. And let's go ahead and bring her on. Peoples, bring her on for we can have this conversation today. Because it's Mental Health Month, y'all. So we're going to get into a couple of things. Good evening, doctor. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
No problem. No problem. No, thank you for joining us here on the show. We definitely appreciate you out your busy day because you are a busy woman. So we definitely appreciate all of that right there. So let's just dive right into it, right? Because you're an actress, director, singer, and you're a doctor of psychology. So let's talk a little bit about that. Who is Dr. Meleeka?
Well, it's so funny that you actually asked me that question because on my TV show on the Bold and Brave TV network of the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show, I always ask that question, who are you? Not that what people identify. So I noticed you did your homework.
Always, always, always.
So I am God's child for one. I am a person, a human being for two, and I am a mother, a family person. So that is for three, and that's who I identify myself. And I love everything I do. So being a psychologist, it's a giving because I just love to do that as well. And the acting and being a director and a filmmaker, that is something I love to do. But all of that, I would not be here if it wasn't for God. So I have to say I'm a child of God first.
Yes, yes, yes. I totally agree. Totally agree. Now, let's get into this because you're an actress, director, singer, host, and a psychologist. Now, how did all this come about? I mean, I got to ask that question. How did all this come about?
Well, when I was younger, like I want to say when I was in my middle school, I would say, and I used to do like cheerleading, and the director, she was also the chorus and play director as well. So what happened was is that she asked me if I wanted to be in a play, and the play Harriet Tubman, all things.
Oh,
Harriet Tubman
yes,
is like
Harriet
the
Tubman.
lead. I said,
Uh-huh.
really? So what did she see out of me doing cheerleading? I have no idea. So how do you put those two together? But
Mhm,
I said, hey, why not? Okay. I went over my lines and I was like,
mhm.
okay, I think I could do this. I think I could do
Right.
this. And so I ended up doing it and played very well. And because
Mm.
she thought that I did a great performance, she recommended me to do like other um, auditions. And right there, I just started doing the acting. Like I go places and stuff like that to audition for different plays or shows or videos or whatever the case may be. And then right after that, well, it's a story for why I got back into the industry. But to
Yes.
answer your question, that's how that went about. But
Hmm.
loving to helping people is something I've always done. Even a counselor, I've always been a great counselor and want to help people within their means. Either if I was a mentor or I was just a person that had gave some type of advice or anything like that. That was when I started knowing that I had a knack for psychology.
Wow, because I mean, you are a woman of multiple talents. Because not just that, you got a bachelor's in criminal justice. I mean, come on now. How did that one come about? Through everything.
Yes, I received I want to say associates in criminal justice, a bachelor's and a master's. in
Mm,
criminal justice. And I used to, well, I wanted to go to law school, and I did. I went to law school about a year,
mm,
just 1 year. It was some things that I had to do in family, was going through a lot of things, so I stopped doing that. And I
mm,
took a break. But while I was taking a break, and I realized that psychologically I needed some healing because at that time I was going through a bad divorce.
mm,
And I was like, okay, you know what? How do I do this mentally? And then that's when I started pursuing to want to be a psychologist. And to believe it or not, because I was going through things, because my grades, I would actually get good grades just for the stories I was going through. And it was
wow.
just like, wow, because, during the discussions, I would have to explain experience, what kind of
Mm,
experience I was going through at that moment. And what happened was is that it helped me, but at the same time, I was getting good grades, and
right.
mentally, I was getting relief of what I was
Hmm.
going through, which was great
Hmm.
for me. And so that's how I ended up being a psychologist.
Wow. Because I see that's like your passion. You love helping, because I
Yes,
did a little bit of research on you and you love helping. And,
yes, I do.
and one of the things that I have learned to love about you is that what you love to do don't cost no money. And you
Yes,
love to give back. So I commend you on that
thank
100
you.
because, a lot of people say these things, but a lot of people really don't do them. Wink, wink, quote, quote.
Hmm.
You know, you know.
Yes.
So, but you
Hmm.
do it. You 100% do it. Now, before we get into other movie Three Corner of Deception, it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I do want to get into that a little bit because that is like one of your expertise. You love talking and
Yes.
you love helping. What are some things that you notice now in 2023 when it comes down to mental health that we as a group, as a people, need to work on?
Patience.
Mm,
And I have to say that because I think what's happening now is people don't have patience anymore. And I get it. I mean, we just went over a devastating plague that just happened, and it lingered for what, a couple of years?
mm-hmm,
And so that made people really antsy and very disgusted and worried. So I think that that's why we're having a problem now. So I think patience is important for people to understand, and don't be so bothered with listening to this or listen to that. And try to just, take a minute and just evaluate. And I think that's what we need to do because everybody's in a rush to figure out this or give a diagnose for this or that. And sometimes there's things that's happening that you just don't have a diagnose real quick. And
mm,
people, it's almost like you can't tell somebody, oh, you don't know what this is, or you don't know. Well, they're people. The ones who's trying to figure it out is because it never happened. So I think that people need to understand patience. And that's something we really do need to try to master patience.
wow. That right there is wow. Yeah, patience is what needed. And you're absolutely right. That's why I think the things that goes on today um, stems from the patient level. Because like
Hmm.
you said, we've been through something that was was unspoke of. For us, the
Yes,
COVID and the quarantine and kids and stuff like that. So,
yes.
that right there, I can say we don't have them. We don't have it.
No.
We don't have it. So yeah, patience. Hey y'all heard that patience, y'all. We got to start learning patience, and I think things will get a little bit better when it comes down to patience. So let's talk about the patient level of you, because you have been patient doing things. Like I
Yes,
said,
I
actress,
have.
director, singer, host of your own show, psychologist, everything, and not only that, teacher, because you
Uh,
was a professor.
yeah,
Mm.
college professor. Yes.
Hmm. See, you ain't had that one in your bio, but I did research.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So let's talk about in between all that because you end up being a professor. Why?
Well, I like educating people for one and mentoring. And that I think that started. I like helping people to be better. And
Mm,
if that's counseling, like I said, I've done that for years. And I was a college professor, I want to say about maybe 15 years of my life. And
Mm,
I've helped different students, find their direction because
mhm.
not everybody knows what direction they want to go. And to try to help them understand learning is fun. You're learning something different. And that's something that I love to do, learn something different. And a lot of the students, some people just was like, a little scared of understanding, how to learn something because even when I taught different like college level students, there was a range of different grades. I mean, like not grades, but ages. So it
Mhm.
didn't even stem from like 18. I mean, I think I had a student was 60 years old.
Wow.
And yeah, I say that too. And she is my fan because you think about how long it took her to say, I want to go back to school
Mhm.
and to get a college degree. And
Yep.
so when you think about that, it's like, wow, it's one thing is going right in from high school to college, because right there you're like, oh wow, I still fresh in my mind. But think about somebody who's 60, they have not went to school. I mean, they have not been in school and don't know like, certain things that they have to do. Time is an essence, and you have to have assignments done and everything like that. And they have their life like
Yes.
just their daily life, whatever. She's a grandmother or mother, it was just it's a lot for someone. But I was able to help those individuals and find their passion. And I did not discriminate, no age, no nothing. So people love to go to the Professor Clary's class because I made them feel comfortable, but also I valued them and I valued
Mhm.
what they wanted to do in life. And if I had a resource, I would definitely explain it to them. Sharing's caring to me. It's not about, not letting somebody know. And I think that's one thing I love the most about being an educator is I get to share resources. You don't have to pay me for that. I'm going
Right.
to explain it to you and let you know. I want to see you successful. And some people may not agree with that, but I'm okay. No, don't get me wrong. I went to school to learn. I've had to pay to learn this information, but I don't need to have somebody else pay me to give you that information.
I love that. I love that. So let's translate this into you being a director of your film Three Corners of Deception. Let's talk about that a little bit. How did that concept and what was the inspire came
Oh,
about? How? Talk to me about it.
wow. Three Corners of Deception is based on true events, which will be out publicly this year. We basically was in, I want to say 12 theaters,
Mm-hmm.
2021, 12 theaters in seven, yeah, 7 states. It was out during COVID, so we only had it come out selectively only
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't know what it was going to do and who was going to go to the movies. We didn't know who was going to go to the theater, I should say. We didn't know. So we just was like, you know what, let's go ahead and let that be. And just a little bit of here, a little bit of there, and that's it. So this year we want to bring it out publicly, streaming networks. And really being a director for that came about because 16 years ago I left the industry,
Right.
and I left the industry because I didn't want to be taken advantage. And as a
Mm.
woman, and it could be attractive woman or anyone. So I have to say a woman in this field, it was very crucial. And I mean, it just wasn't good. Back then it was almost like what you can do and I could do for you if
Mm-hmm.
you could do this. And I
Right.
didn't like that. And I said, I've went around and audition or whatever, if I did something like if it was a talk show or whatever the case may be, if it was something I was going to host for temporary, it was going to be something I'm going to have to do sexually, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to go ahead and sleep my way up top.
Right.
It's not about that. And I felt like that was just keep on coming, like the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity. It was like, wait a minute, I like what I do, but if I keep on getting these type of invitations, I'm good. I didn't want to do it. I was like, you know what? And if it's for materialistic things, I'll get that and then some. So I didn't want to do it just to be, some type of fame. It wasn't my passion to do that. So I ended up leaving for about, I want to say about 16 years. And then I came back because, now, one reason why I came back now, this is a relationship I have with God. God knows I love the entertainment industry. I love being an actress and I just like it. I mean, I just love it. but I left something that I did like, and it was a natural because of the invitations that I didn't want to sell my soul. But I ended up getting back because my son was going to jail. I mean, no, I was going to jail for
What?
allowing my son. Yes, I was going to jail to allow my son to be baptized. And let me tell you something. I have to say this because I went through a bad divorce, and the person he is an attorney, but his friends is judges and lawyers. It doesn't matter. It was like the good old boy network.
Yep.
The sad thing about that, I know, but you know what? The sad thing about that, I could say that my ex-spouse was a mentally emotional because of the divorce.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not have anything positive to say about the judicial system, the judges and the lawyers that took advantage of him and used him as a pawn because I'm a Black woman and I have a voice and I wanted to speak up about what you're doing wrong to me.
Mm-hmm.
That is when they used him. And that is the bad thing because his reason is to break up. And me, you know what I mean, of the marriage.
Right.
Their reason is how dare you appeal from our decision? Well, in a court of law, if you have a problem with a decision, you have a right as a civilian. Okay? You have a right to appeal to a higher level court. And that's called the appellate court. I know those rights. And the Supreme, if you really want to get interesting, I know those rights.
Right.
I mean, I'm a paralegal as well. I know those rights. And like I said, I went to law school for a year, but I also taught law, criminal justice, but you have to learn the law. So I know those rights. But here's why I ended up being a director. I mean, of course, I'm just giving you a little rundown.
Yeah.
But I got back in. I went to when he actually was going to put me in jail because in our divorce decree, it never said that I could not allow my son to be baptized. For one, that's his right. He's a person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
We as parents, we can influence our children to get baptized. We can influence to follow religions, but it's really up to them. So he jumped up. He was little, young. He jumped up with his sister, and they wanted to go and get baptized because it was a open baptism. And I was like, hey, people who's religious would love that. It's like, yes, go for it, boy. I love it. My daughter too, and I have another one who didn't. She didn't get baptized that day. She waited a week. She had to think about it. It's personalities, right? So I was like, okay, I was more worried about the third one that didn't jump up. And I was like, this one. But she needed a course or two. She got back on it. So I was very happy and blessed. I was worried, okay? I was really worried that she didn't get up.
Right.
That look on my face was like, they ran down there to get dipped in the water. This was sitting there like,
nah, I'll think about this. I'm
gonna think about it. So we had a one-on-one conversation. What you need to know. Let me help you know that now. Let me play my role. So she needed to take some courses. And before I got baptized, I did take courses too, because they have I'm from Boston originally and live in Carmel, Indiana, but they had, classes you could take. It's like a couple of weeks actually. Yeah. So she ended up doing it, which is great. It was a wonderful moment. So I'm blessed that all my children are baptized now. And later on in life, they'll probably do it again. But it was great that they did it. I'll take that off my bucket list.
Right.
So, because the human flesh, you can't save your children. You would love to, but they need something higher than the flesh. So with that being said, I end up, it was a nasty thing that the judicial system did. It wasn't right. They were abusing their power and said I was going to go to jail for 24 hours. And I got on my knees and I said, God, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I need help. So protesting came up. So I ended up going protesting in front of the court and asking this judge to recuse himself. And within 2 days, now everybody say God works slow, but he was on time. Okay, he was on time. I have to say, he was on
time, right?
He was on time, and I mean on time. They came outside and said, "Why are you protesting?" This was at least like the second day in protesting. They said, why are you, the judge recused himself off the case. Now, of course, I filed a tort claim against him, but still, just to find out later on, he has immunity and stuff like that. But still, you can file to sue someone, whatever the case may be. And he got off the case, and I never went to jail. To be honest with you, it went moot. I want to say it was moot, like something never ever happened. That's what I'm saying. Nobody did anything with it either. It was like, okay, so you guys just play with my mind like that and put fear in my heart, but nobody did anything. Nobody did anything. I'm not going to jail, but nobody did anything.
I did anything, right?
Yeah, but what they did is brought me back to say my voice is so important, and I want to get back in the entertainment industry. And so I started, doing YouTube, and then I was like, I already started writing this book, but I didn't know it was going to be a movie. And that was, yes, I didn't know. And then, it was just a notion that kept coming. Why don't you do the movie? And I had found financing, and I was like, okay. And it was like, go ahead, do the movie. Now, the directing part was a natural because it kind of fell in my lap because I've had bad experience with other people that took advantage because it's an independent movie.
Okay.
So I figured, let me do this and take that part too.
Right.
And yeah, because this entertainment industry, if you don't know it, you definitely going to get taken advantage. You will be taken advantage of. So that's how I end up getting a director seat. Is that I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. Directing to me has got to be just like management. So that's how it happened.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk a little bit more, because I know you ain't got that much time, but I just got to ask this question. You have your own show,
Yes.
and let's talk a little bit about that. How did that come about, and the things that you talk about on there, because I had went through a couple of them and I loved it. So, let's talk about you, Doc.
All right. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting the show. The Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on the Bold and Brave TV. They reached out to me because Star Jones from Court TV,
Yep.
her, the divorce court. Yes.
Yep.
So she interviewed me, and they asked the interview, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Got her on the show, and she interviewed me, and she talked about what we need as a community. And she know what I'm about, psychology, and want to help people. And she said, we really need you. We need people like you. And me and her, we have similar backgrounds.
Yes.
So we vibing, we really vibe. She's really a wonderful woman. And she's an attorney too. She's just a blessing. A lot of people don't know that she's an attorney, but she's an attorney as well. She actually practiced being a judge as well too. Yes. Yes, she did. Yes, I love her. I gotta give shout out to her because she is such a wonderful woman. And so that being said, she had said I needed my own show, and then about a week after, I want to say Bold and Brave had got in contact with me and said they had seen the segment with Star Jones and asked me if I want to, sign a contract for a couple of years, and asked me, do you want, can you do Bold and Brave, your own show? I said, well, you already know me. I mean, I have to say, if you're asking me, then I'm kind of like off the chain a little bit. And not bad, but I go after judicial officials, so you got to be careful what you want to ask me to do.
Right.
I want to save people, but I may be putting somebody else under the bus because of what you did to me. So be careful when you ask, and when they say bold and brave, I said I like it. Bold and Brave fits me.
Right,
so I'm going to jump on this show as long as you let Dr. Meleeka Clary be able to do her.
Yes.
So there you go. And they loved it. They loved the way that I'm doing things. And, it's not just the judicial system, of course, but it's mental illness, it's positive psychology, it's helping people change, and resources, things that you may not, think you can get without paying a retainer or a consultant fee. I'm giving it to you free. And I'm trying to help you, not just that, because I think we need it. Even if someone says, I don't need counseling, I don't need therapy, I think everybody needs it because, sometimes you tell a story to a friend and it could be a bad breakup or it could be career path. Sometimes your friends just don't want to always hear it. They don't always want to hear that. They're just like, okay, this is every day you go through the same thing every day. But you go to a therapist, they're there to help you. And that is what we're here for. You know what I mean? So you can go ahead and let it out. And I'm free. And I know a lot of other people are free. I do pro bono work. And
Mm,
let me tell you something. I do it because I love it. I love to
mm-hmm.
help a mind. Your mind and your soul is more important than the dollar. I believe God would take care of that. He'll find a
Yes.
way. He
Yes,
always
all the
has.
time. He always do. He always do. Now, let me ask you this question because because you do these things. Which of the psychology do you love to do when it comes down to helping? Because it's always different. You got relationship, you got the mental health, you got financing and stuff like that. Which part do you love to do?
I love them all, to be honest with you.
Oh,
And
love that.
I
Love
do.
that.
I love them all because it's helping
Right.
someone help themselves. And
Mm-hmm.
that's really to say it. But if I have to say what I get a lot, relationships, I do get
Mm,
a couple therapy.
mm.
And relationships is not just couples, but it also could be friendships, it could
Right.
be parents and child relationship, it's any type of relationship, putting them together,
Mm-hmm.
and that's I really love that. And when I do get like a couple relationship or a marriage, I always go back to mine because I had a failed marriage. And I
Mm-hmm.
say it takes two to dance. I had my dancing too. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
just him. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, some of us is just stuck on stupid at the time, but that could be stupid at the time,
Right. Right.
but and then you find out later, well, I probably could have did without that. But
Right.
then it's how much can you do without? And that
Mm.
was the struggle here,
Mm-hmm.
But I always tell people get therapy before you get married, or if you even consider getting married, because you got to make sure that you guys are on the same dimension with that. You got to be on the same level, because if you're not on the same level, the marriage it's like any other relationship, it's going to fall apart. But I do love putting back families and relationships, and I do love that. Like, well, I love it all, like I said, but I
Yeah.
get that more.
Right. Right. So, what is one thing that you can say that can help people right now that are in relationships that might be going through a little, probably just a little problem, but they might think it's big. You know what I mean? What is one thing that you can say that can help them?
Seek therapy, and it doesn't have to be. And before you get into any relationship, identify what you want to a therapist or a psychologist or counselor. And the reason why I say that, because your wants may not be the same as somebody else's wants, and you
Mm,
might be told that you need to change some things. Because
mm,
after a while, you get into a couple of relationships and you start to hear the same thing. It might be you that needs to change.
mm.
Some people don't identify their own flaws. I mean, if you're used to getting your way all the time, you might have to dim it down a little bit and see it another way. And I say that because being with somebody is compromise. And
Yes.
if you don't want to compromise, don't get married. And I have to
Mm.
say that because it's supposed to be 50-50. And sometimes you're not gonna like that way. If you're used to driving a Porsche and you think you got a family that's gonna fit in it, and then you got a station wagon, and you and the person likes that, bro. I mean, the family's not gonna fit in the Porsche. So you're gonna have to drive the station wagon or get a minivan or something. And I say that for experience. It's not going to be either one of your choices. You're going to have to go with the middle. Minivan, it is not going to be the Porsche. It is not going to be the wagon or whatever you like. It's going to be the minivan. And it better look good for y'all. Y'all can pick your minivan all you want, but that's the chosen ride. That's compromise. Because I'm sorry. That's how I gotta learn that. I had to learn that. I mean, I
Uh-huh.
have to go from my own experience. You gotta learn that. It's not a given. You
Wow.
gotta learn that. And
Oh
that's
man.
compromising. And everybody's happy.
Yes, yes, yes. Yo, this is something real right here, because right now, a lot of people are basing their relationships or they are seeking, TikTok and Instagram has, I'm you got so many people talking about so much stuff, and they not even therapists, right?
Yes,
And
I know.
people are getting the wrong idea, and I try to tell people like, dude, they're not professionals, right? Even though a lot of them going by their own experience, but they still not professionals. And professionals will give you the right advice, right?
Yes,
But the problem that I see in, I want to say in our community, there is not a lot of us that are therapists that we can actually find, right? Um, what are some things that you would tell people or suggest what can they do? Because a lot of people, like us, brown and black, we like, nah, the Caucasian ain't gonna be able to relate to what I am saying. And
yes,
when you start searching for one, you like, well, it's kind of get discouraging when it comes down to that. What are certain
yes.
things that they could probably like, do or something like that?
Well, first of all, they can get in touch with me at drmeleekaclary.com is my website. And I'm open book. So you can get in touch with me. And I'll find that wherever you live, because, I deal with all over the world. I'll find someone or give you a couple options. And that's
Mhm.
how I can do that. And, because I have that, many people, they always want, they might want this person, that. It might be a culture difference. So I
Mhm.
find, I ask, what are you looking for, And I do. I network. So
Yeah.
I do build relationships. So if they want to get in touch with me, they can do that.
Okay.
And I'm all over. So if you Google me, you can
Yeah.
find me. The email is there, and you could just go ahead, email me, tell me what you need. It's like a
Mhm.
candy in the store.
Uh-huh.
I will find out for you. That's why I said you don't have to do a whole lot of work, but get
Right.
in touch with me. And I
There
don't
it is.
mind. I don't
Mm-hmm.
mind because, like I said, my goal is to help you.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me a little bit about the problem, and sometimes I even call you and I'll
Mm-hmm.
make schedule a meeting and just talk to you, find out a little bit about you, and I'll go ahead and do the research for you, and I'll go ahead and send that to your
Well,
way.
y'all
And
hear it
I
right
get it.
here.
I
Yeah.
get it. I get
Yeah.
it. You know?
Well, listen, I want to thank you for joining us here on the show. I definitely appreciate you, the
You're welcome.
conversation, and everything. And you have to give everybody your website, your IG, and everything
Thank
else.
you. Thank you. Well, my website again is drmeleekaclary.com. So you can find everything there. Or you could just Google me, Dr. Meleeka Clary. I'm all over Google. Or Instagram, it's Meleeka Clary Ghosh, or Facebook, Meleeka Clary Ghosh, or Dr. Meleeka Clary. And there's a public group that I do utilize, and it's all about positive psychology. People all over the world join the group, and I send messages and everything that just be uplifting for you. So I am very easy to find. So you can find me, just spell my name, Dr. Meleeka Clary Clary. I am there for you. So you just go ahead and Google
There
away.
it is. There it is. Well, thank you so much for joining me here on the show. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you
You're
for giving us
welcome.
all this good advice. And once again, you are now part of the family. So we appreciate you,
Oh, thank
cousin,
you,
auntie, whoever, you know what I mean? Definitely you are
brother.
now part of the family. So we definitely appreciate you.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for giving us a lot of insight too, where, you are open book and like, hey, everybody, she's here. Like she said, follow on Instagram,
Right.
follow on Facebook, and she's easy to get in contact with and she can
That's
help.
right.
So, hey, network, make the dream work. And
There you go.
network is more better than money, y'all. I'm going to tell you.
There
I'm
you
going to
go.
tell you. The bigger your network, the bigger your worth. There it is. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate you once again, and we'll be talking. We'll definitely
Yes.
be talking. Yes, man. So enjoy the rest of your day and
Right.
be
Thank you. You
blessed.
too.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Thank you. You
Uh,
too. I appreciate you.
no, listen, I appreciate you. Yeah, I appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right, talk to you later.
Okay. Bye.
Good show, everybody. Good show. Once again, y'all, we had Dr. Meleeka Clary Habs on the show, joining us here, talking to us, actress, director, singer, host, psychologist, and paralegal. Like she does it all, y'all. And we had her here. She talked to us a little bit about the mental health, talked to us about relationship, talked to her about her book, talked to her about her movie, talked to us about her experience in life. And when I tell y'all, it was a good one. It was a good one. I definitely appreciate her. I wish her well on everything that she do. She is part of the family, so anything that she need, hey, OT always got it. I got it somewhere. I can help. All right, y'all. So make sure y'all keep on following us here on all of the IG's OT Radio Show. You can follow the link right down below. And listen, y'all. I love y'all. Y'all be good. And like I always say, all the time, if someone asks you how you doing, you tell them I'm doing better than yesterday. All right, y'all. Love y'all and be good. And we will see y'all again tomorrow. Here, same time, same place. Thank you for watching, y'all. Peace.
Good.